Hey, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I'm with you here, folks, but I'm doing some research at the same time. I'm working with somebody. Somebody's getting me some information from the State Bar Association, and we're working on something. If you want to be a part of helping here at fetchernews.com, fyntv.com, get in touch with me. Our email address is on the screen, chief@fetchernews.com. Or call me 706-889-9700 or text me there. That's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week news hotline. Now, I do the Fannin County reports when they have meetings around the 9 o'clock hour, so that way I have a good solid hour from 8 to 9 that I do national. And we know some people don't want to keep hearing about Fannin County, but I suggest, I call it Drain the Swamp, hashtag DTS Fannin County. And I suggest that if you have a swamp in your local county, your municipality, regardless of whatever it may be, school board, get in touch with me. I will help in any way I can. I will not participate in going after individuals. And that's part of our problem in Fannin County. I won't do that, but I'll participate in draining the swamp. Taxpayers. It's all about the taxpayers. Now, I'm going to do two things this morning. First of all, last night there was a meeting, and I called this, first of all, last meeting, or the special call meeting, we had the APPP, the Appalachian Probation something. And Miss Doss, the county attorney, we played that video for you. Miss Doss, the county attorney, I'm going to say acted as though she did not know what it was that the commissioners were signing. She's only been there 27 years, Miss Doss. Probate judge did not, Scott Kiker, act as though he knew what they were signing. It's all on video. He's only in his 5th year as probate judge and has signed it and agreed to it every year. And none of the commissioners knew what it was. Contract, what were they to do with this APPP? Now, here's the thing that's most concerning. And I got to bring this around because my question today is, how long will Stan Helton, the new chairman, okay? How long will Stan Helton, the new chairman of Fannin County, that is actually doing some good things are happening, okay? It's just in January. How long will he sit there and be embarrassed by the county attorney in front of people, okay? A whole room full of people, knowing the counsel he is getting is incompetent. Now, last night, if anything, when Chief Superior Court Judge Brenda Weaver, which, let's get it clear, I have no side in anything that took place over the last year concerning Chief Judge Brenda Weaver. I have no side. The only side I have is the taxpayers, and the only thing I've done is I can prove hours of research, hours of reading that no one else put into it. No one at the AJC, no one at any other media outlet put in the time to research every accusation that was made against Judge Weaver. Okay? That's simple. Those are facts. Now, everybody knows we don't have time this morning. We're going to go into Larry Joe Sosebee and what happened last night. But everybody knows that's followed this show or pays attention and knows the district that, Lynn Doss, the county attorney, she is publicly quoted to me and to others, has no feelings whatsoever or love for former Judge Roger Bradley, Superior Court Judge Roger Bradley, or Superior Court Judge Brenda Weaver. Now, she can do interviews with Mark Winnie and say, well, she has been in front of Judge Weaver so many times, and Judge Weaver's always been polite and courteous and fair to her. She can do all those kind of interviews, but we do know the people that she has made the comments to. We have sources concerning her participation in FBI investigations and comments she's made concerning Judge Weaver, Judge Weaver's checks, Judge Weaver's accounts, and even some accusations from sources that I won't name concerning Judge Weaver, and maybe Scott Kiker and maybe Lynn Doss spoke to investigators about Judge Weaver or judges taking money from the probation side. Maybe that happened. So last night, Judge Weaver comes up and Brenda Weaver comes up and does about a 20-minute full explanation for all the commissioners. Say, you want to hear from me? You want to know what the APPP is? Here I am. I'm going to take 20 minutes. I'm going to explain it in detail. We have the video that we'll be putting up today of that. What's embarrassing is the county attorney for 27 years is sitting 2 rows back smiling. Now, Post Commissioner Earl Johnson says, I didn't know what it was. And you know what? It's not that he did anything wrong. Post Commissioner Earl Johnson did know what it was. And he said, I don't know who was supposed to represent it to us. And I don't know who was supposed to tell us about it. Now, I'm not putting words in Earl Johnson's mouth, but Post Commissioner Earl Johnson saying, I didn't know what it was, and I don't know whose responsibility it was. Now, that's on the video to tell us what this probation program was all about. With the county attorney sitting 4 rows back, and everybody, me knowing, the county attorney knew what this was. Now, she claims she didn't thoroughly understand what the APPP is. And, you know, I know she has her attorneys looking every day at what I do to see where I may slip up, and, you know, and she could come after me. I'm just being candid. I know that's well on its way. I seen something last night that concerned me, that they're trying to start something else. When I say they, call it the Fannin cartel. There's several members, you know, period. So anyhow, how do I say that Ms. Doss knew about this program? Because her husband is a Superior Court judge, was a Superior Court judge for some time while this program was taking place. And you cannot be a judge, a Superior Court judge in this district, and not know about the program. So we're not going to go there. But first and foremost, Lynn Doss, my opinion, I don't think it was the intent, so I don't want to get in the middle of this. But I think what Judge Brenda Weaver did last night for those 3 commissioners, I think if I'm Lynn Doss, I would have resigned right then. I mean, to me, Lynn Doss is Michael Flynn. Hey, she should have just got up and resigned. She should have just handed her resignation in then and say, you know what? I'm looking at you 3. You're paying me $5,700 a month that I don't even have to answer anything for. I don't have to account for anything. She don't have to account for anything. Nothing. Just turn in the bill. Where were you today? None of your business. Here's the bill. Where were you last night? None of your business. Here's the bill. She has to account for nothing. She never has to be correct. Never has to be correct. At no time is the county attorney ever required to be correct in a matter, because there's no consequences. But if what Judge Brenda Weaver did last night for 20 minutes in explaining that to the commissioners, with Lynn Doss sitting in the room, county attorney for 27 years, and Scott Kiker, Lynn Doss should have resigned last night out of embarrassment. Or Stan Helton should ask for a resignation this morning out of embarrassment that the judge had to come and explain in thorough detail what the county attorney should have explained to begin with. Now, That leads up to an executive session last night because here that goes into the county attorney, again, Lynn Doss. So let me paint this little picture. On December 14th, if I remember this correctly, I'll throw out some dates with no notes. Let's see what my memory's like. On December 14th, folks, there's going to be so many ways this is going to be strung and spun around. We're going to not deal with the people as much as we're going to deal. People are going to say, I'm taking up for people, certain people. Not true. Not true. Last night, they went into executive session to make a decision on whether to pay former CFO, former county clerk, Rita Davis, comp time. Okay? Comp time. All right? They came out and Post Commissioner Johnson made some statements that I understand where he's coming from. He wasn't happy, but he made some statements. I understand where he's coming from. Larry Joe Sosebee, when you cannot articulate an intelligent thought, you should keep your mouth shut. Okay? You should keep your mouth shut when you can't articulate an intelligent thought to the public. The most unprofessional comments I have personally heard from a commissioner. Now, if he wanted to tell the people of Fannin County he disagreed with paying Miss Kirby, that's fine. But his little speech with Lynn Doss sitting there. You see, Larry Joe came out and gave his little speech because he was sitting down there wherever he's at and he was spinning around an R26, an R26 216 or 270 on a rim and trying to balance a tire. And he got a phone call and he ran up there to fire Rita Davis Kirby with Stan Helton. That's not the issue. Okay? Stan is well within his rights, Helton to release Miss Kirby. No problem. Okay, that's not the issue. But Larry Joe last night tried to head off that he cost the county this money, and he tried to put it on Bill Simons. So let me be clear. Bill Simons screwed up royally. Royally. Screwed up. One, he had an opportunity to fire Lynn Doss, and he did not. Sources say he made that comment public to many people that he was going to dismiss Ms. Doss before he left, and he did not. That's what sources say. Point is, now, I don't want to say they, but they're pushing the blame over to Bill Simons, and he should take the blame for a good part of what happened. Former chairman of the county. I'm getting somewhere. So Larry Joe Sosebee does not want you, the citizens of Fannin County, to think that he cost you this money. No. Folks, after 27 years, your county attorney doesn't understand enough about labor laws, working people in the county. You just had an EOCC suit. You just had a discrimination suit, an age discrimination suit in Fannin County that you had to settle. You would thought Doss would have learned then. You remember when Bill fired all the people out at the road department and the older guys said they got fired and the younger guys stayed on board? You remember that? Oh, Lynn Doss. Oh, she was a real peach during that one, wasn't she? Yeah, she was a real peach during that lawsuit. County paid out you'd think she'd have learned something there about county employees. You'd think after 27 years, Lynn Doss would have caught on to something about how to dismiss, hire, fire, what their compensation rights are, regardless of the name. You would think. No, hell no. So on December 14th, Lynn Doss, County Attorney, Mr. Helton, have you not realized that last night your counsel that you took with you to a meeting cost you a lot of money? Do you realize, Mr. Helton, the counsel you took on December 14th in that room, what it could end up costing Fannin County and continue to cost Fannin County? Because years ago, for 27 years, there wasn't the internet. And years ago, for 27 years, there wasn't Fetch Your News, and there wasn't video cameras, and there wasn't social media. But now, every time the doors are open, somebody's turning over a rock and keeping an eye on things. So, December 14th, Larry Joe Sosebee. That's why he gave this big speech that I'm about to show you last night. He goes up there to the commissioner's office, and Stan Helton. Now, Stan Helton is chairman-elect. And they take the county attorney. Why? Why the hell you take the county attorney? They take the county attorney. So why didn't they have all this worked out? Why not? Right? Why didn't the county attorney and Stan have a meeting with Bill? Why not? Why not have a meeting with them, because it wouldn't have been against the Sunshine Law, and say, Bill and Stan, put them in a room, and Lynn Doss have 27 years and say, look, Bill, let's be professionals, we're going to dismiss, Mr. Helton has plans to dismiss the CFO at the first of the year. Now, we're going to want a smooth transition, and we want everybody's work to get done, and we want to make sure we do some kind of package to make sure whatever, that when this person leaves, we need to get everything in line. Former chairman, future chairman, and the county attorney. Why not? Because they have no counsel, folks. This is what they have. All right? So, Stan Helton, Larry Joe Sosebee, and Rita Kirby, they go in the room. They have their counsel. They tell Larry Joe Sosebee, my understanding says, because he's the acting post commissioner, hey, at the first of the year, we can make it easy on you. These are my words, my words. God knows they're waiting to find something on me. My word, hey, we can make it easy on you. You can go back there, pack your stuff, hit the road. Or we just let you know now, we got 2 votes. That's what we need. And January 1st, you're out of here. That's fine. That's fine. Okay? No problem. But they have their counsel. They have their counsel, the county attorney, there. For what reason? So Larry Joe says, you're out of here. You know, first of the year, Stan says you're out of here. I don't know the room. I don't know if they talked to her that day about a compensation package, what they were. Why was that not all planned out? Let's see, Ms. Doss has seen the county have to pay out before, right? No. So last night they go in there and there's comp time. Now pay attention when Larry Joe Sosebee says some stuff. He says some things, okay? Larry Joe says some things that are very, to me, funny, okay? He says, I don't think we pay comp time to department heads. You understand? This is all of them, they knew they had 2 votes. You see, Larry Joe and Earl, and I like Earl. Earl's doing a good job, folks. Post Commissioner Earl Johnson's doing a good job for you citizens out there. But Larry Joe and Earl have 2 votes. And they could have voted a long time ago, but Larry Joe did not come to the table with it. Nobody came to the table with it. See, they should have split the CFO and the county clerk. See, the county clerk, department head, CFO is not. I don't think so. One's the department head, one is not. So she was doing 2 positions. Oh, by the way, before we go to the video, pay attention to this. There's a couple things. We're going to go to video right now, I promise you. Pay attention to this. Dane Kirby is the sheriff of Fannin County. The citizens of Fannin County decided at the ballot box they want him to be sheriff. Okay? The state constitution, the state sets the pay. There's splitting hairs. But the state sets the pay of the sheriff and the commissioners, okay? The post commissioners, whatever. I mean the chairman, all right? Let's not get down that road. So the post commissioners, or nothing the sheriff does, can affect how he gets paid, the sheriff. Plus, he's a constitutional officer. You see, Rita Kirby's not a constitutional officer. Nobody voted on her. Lynn Doss is not a constitutional officer. Nobody voted on her. Harry Doss is not a constitutional officer. Nobody voted on him. But there's two family members there that are constitutional officers when you pay attention to this video. Shirley Sosebee. Shirley Sosebee's your tax commissioner in Fannin County. She was elected. That's Larry Joe Sosebee's wife. Okay? Larry Joe Sosebee's family, now post commissioners don't get a lot of money, but they do get health insurance, so I don't know the details of what he gets. But post commissioners don't get a lot of money. But when post commissioner Larry Joe Sosebee starts talking about a lot of money that Fannin County takes out, that, you know, where does he get his health insurance? That families take out of Fannin County, woo, and blackmail. Go to the video, we'll come back and break this down.
Do I have a motion we come out of executive session?
Motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, as to our real estate discussion, there was no decision. The second issue on personnel. We have a separation and release agreement with our former finance clerk for wages and compensation, as well as any and all other claims by Ms. Rita Davis Kirby. Gentlemen, do we have any comments, discussion on that at this time? Mr. Sosebee?
The only thing we have to go by is a calendar that she had marked with her comp time on it. And I've never known of this board or previous boards paying comp time to a department head. And, but before we're hung out to dry, William Simon initialed it. So this alleviates the opening the door for, unless we can close it tight for future acts of this nature. If this was, she was on the other foot, she was here, she'd be the first to argue the question that we didn't pay comp time to department heads. Various notes, various letters to us, or emails and so on and so forth have come in, and it's been one number and then another number, and finally we settled on one number here. And but the 3 weeks that she worked, the last 3 weeks she worked, there was nothing posted. There was no budgets that was put in the system. Various things that just went wrong, but yeah, she's offering her help to come back and help us. So, but anyway, I don't know why the HR didn't get a better handle on this, if she was gonna turn in comp time, or anybody was gonna turn in comp time, other than taking and putting it on the calendar that was written with the same pen, basically the same day, it looks like, all the way through. We have, over a period of 8 years, we have paid Mr. and Mrs. Kirby in the sum of almost $1 million in taxpayers' money. This comes from out of the HR down there. That's the two of them together. Anyway, it was over a period, Ms. Kirby from 09, she constantly got a raise up to the year 16. From 31,000 when she took office in 09, 010 it went to 40,000, 11, 49,000, 12 it went to 51,000, 13 it went to 53,000, 14 it jumped to 56,000. 2015 went to 59, and with what she will probably get here tonight, she made more than her husband did. This should bring her up to like 76,000 in 1 year. For Mr. Kirby, his set pay is like 75,000. And so both of them combined together over an 8-year period is just a few $1,000 less than $1 million. So, then, you know, like I say, then comes back as, well, I take it, I guess you call it blackmail. But, anyway, we'll see what these other two guys do. That's all I've got to rant and rave about.
This, the separation agreement that we're discussing is for an gross amount of $13,622.07. And I also struggle with this myself. However, separating anything else is just strictly looking at the taxpayer dollars, which this is. If we went to court, the potential liability on this for the county could be much more significant than that. Certainly, if you hire a specialist in labor law, you're going to pay high dollars for multiple attorneys, and the estimate on that would be multiple times more than this amount. So simply to put this behind us, as we said, to release the county from any other claims in the past, so we could move forward with a clean slate. This agreement, $13,622.07, is what our former finance director says will allow us to move forward. Mr. Johnson, what comments do you have, sir?
I mean, first of all, I've not been aware, and the finance director, as far as my knowledge, for a year and a half, has worked for the Board of Commissioners. And during that time, the finance director did work on the Board of Commissioners. I never was under the assumption that she nor any other salaried employee was accruing comp time. You know, and then when I get shown this calendar, you know, we talk about how professional everything was. Any of you can see this if you want it. But this is the type of records like the roads I talked about earlier that were put on there that they just kind of appeared. So just for a few examples of how unorganized this county and how mismanaged it's been, this is a perfect example. This is how our financial director kept up with her comp time, in which we're now having to, it's either pay this or, I don't know. This is a lot cheaper. You know, we'll have to pay that for a retainer, just to hire an attorney. But just for every taxpayer to know, I was not aware that anyone was accruing, especially our financial director, comp time. A copy of this, any of y'all can get. And if we were, I figure we've been recorded in a whole different way. But, you know, no matter what was recorded or not recorded, these initials on here by William Simons, okay, these initials, I guess it kind of in a way, it binds the county, because what he's saying is every bit of this is true. Every bit of this is true. Well, I don't understand, and if I'm not misunderstanding, the chairman's already paid 30-something.
3,200 and something, he's already approved for her. He approved 3295.60 is what he approved before he left. That was just under his spending limit.
This was last year, correct?
This was last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
So actually, this amount here is gonna grow, and what did you just say?
The amount here is $13,622.07.
So what number did he just say?
3295.60. So you're looking over $16,000.
16,822. So really the number 16,822 is what's really being paid for comp time in 1 year. That's as much as a lot of people in this county make in 1 year. Okay, so that's, must have been working real hard, is all I know. And I did not partake in the voting of terminating our financial director for obvious reasons. But, you know, at that time, I have never, ever been aware that comp time was being accrued. So I want everyone to understand that, I'm not too happy about having to pay this, because I wished I would have known, but it's just like Fannin County's been around for 30-something years. William CS, William Simons, he still haunts us and he's not even here.
Another thing
So he's approved this, so I'm guessing it binds us. And I hope this is the last encounter we have to have of something that I'm sure all these people knew. I'm sure Mr. Simons and Miss Kirby knew that she did work for the board. But you see who the two are taking care of everything?
And also the last raise that she
signing
got.
off.
Also, Mr. Johnson, the last raise she got when she was working under the board come directly from Mr. Simon.
You know, I'm not aware of any raise, I'm not aware of any comp time, I'm not aware of any of that. And I did partake in the termination over, but now this, it saddens me to say that this is gonna be cheaper than the alternative. So I guess if you're asking for the opinion, I am of the opinion that after paying this amount, taking away from what the chairman has already paid before he left office, and what he signed, which is binding us now, it could cause us further problems. And from the emails and stuff I've received stating what else might happen, I mean, I don't see any other way myself for the county to get out of this and just move ahead and hopefully everybody calm down, stop being mad, and stop saying that the county owes them money than to approve this. So that's my 2 cents.
You have any further comments, Mr. Sosebee?
Go.
Okay. Well, having said all that, I will make the motion that this Board of Commissioners pay the total gross amount, $13,622.07 to Ms. Rita Davis Kirby. And I reiterate, to settle all claims for wages and compensation, as well as any and all other claims. And this gives the county a free and clean release of any obligations pertaining to our former finance director from now and forever. So I make that motion that we do that. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Those opposed? Okay, it passes 2-1. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Make a motion.
I'll make that second. All in favor? Meeting adjourned.
In all my years, I have seen many things that are outrageous. I've seen council members outrageous. And the reason I say it's the most unprofessional, because let me paint this real quick here, okay? Now, I don't want the takeaway that Miss Kirby got $16,000 in comp time being the takeaway. And that's what Sosebee, Larry Joe Sosebee wants you to be the takeaway. Yes, she should have got $16,000 in comp time. No, not that she should have. Yes, she got $16,000. Now, I'm not making it, I wanted that clear. Yes, she got $16,000 in comp time last night, okay? I'm gonna draw some conclusions on a couple things. Mr. Sosebee sat there with an attorney that counseled them when they fired this individual in the county. He sat there last night and let you know that Dane Kirby, the sheriff, and Rita Kirby, in 8 years, now pay attention to this. Larry Joe, you should resign today. You should resign today and get back to doing what you do best. You do a very good job of it, of keeping tires on cars. Because when it comes to putting the rubber to the road like this, I mean, this is not your shining moment, okay? First of all, he sits there and he says, in 8 years, 5, 6, 7, 8, I gotta get it right. In 8 years, that the sheriff, Dane Kirby, and Rita Kirby, the financial director and county clerk, have taken $1 million out of the county. That family has taken $1 million out of the county. Fine, Mr. Sosebee, let me look in the camera and let you know something. You sit there and you look out in the audience at a county attorney who her family, between her and her husband, in 2015 took $200,000 from the citizens of Fannin County. In 1 year, 1 year, Mr. Sosebee, 27 years. You had the nerve to do that. That's okay. While you leave her sitting there, $200,000. That's number one. Number two, Mr. Sosebee, it's interesting that the first part, because I have it on camera, it's interesting the first part of $3,295, the first severance check that Ms. Kirby received, it's interesting you understood that was under his spending limit. Huh. You see, you said that, Mr. Sosebee. You said that's under his spending limit. So it's obviously you know there's a spending limit. Obviously you know and agree there's a limit, because you knew there needed to be 2 signatures on a check on December 14th, the same day you're up there releasing this lady that just got $16,000 from the county or telling her her job was over. You knew that day when you initialed that check for $5,780.43 or whatever Lynn Doss gets, that it was over the spending limit. So you know the spending limit because you said it yourself. Here's another one I like. Earl Johnson, pay attention. Earl Johnson said, this is just like Fannin County has been run for 30 years. Who's been the county attorney for 27? Doss and Associates. Earl Johnson said, he said, this is just the way the county's been run for 30 years. Pay attention to that, folks. Now, Stan Helton has an opportunity early in this administration to do some very good things for Fannin County and be a good chairman. He has that opportunity. But right now, sitting on that bench, the Citizens Commissioner is Earl Johnson, period. That's the bottom line. That's who your commissioner is on that bench. But I'm going to tell you now, he makes reference 30 years, okay? Now, here's what I like. It goes on and on. We could hire a specialist in labor law. This would be cheaper. Folks, how? This lady is county attorney by 5 o'clock today. I do not understand. After 27 years. This will be cheaper. Paying Rita the 13, the 3, and just getting mad about it, and Larry Joe voting no, and Larry Joe calling it blackmail, and all the above. This would be cheaper than hiring a specialist in labor law. Did you ever think, Larry Joe, about getting your damn county attorney to call a specialist in labor law before you decided to fire her? Did you ever think that? So when you sit down there December 14th in the room, and you sit down there with Stan Helton, chairman-elect, and you sit down there with Lynn Doss, oh my God, just to think about it. Could you have not said, see, you knew that day was coming. You knew you were having that meeting. So obviously, you and Stan and Doss have talked. You had to have a pre-meeting, maybe Stan and Doss, maybe Larry Joe and Stan, blah, blah, blah. Now, I understand you may have, had all kinds of meetings, but you see, if after 27 years, the county attorney, you go do your own research and you find a county attorney, and most of the county, not most, but a good part of the county attorney's responsibilities are to protect the county, not to go against people, but a wrongful termination, terminating somebody, things of that nature. That's all the time, okay? Anytime your HR department puts in job descriptions, anytime your HR department puts in requirements, rules, regulations for your employees, You put a company handbook together, that should go over to your county attorney. Your county attorney should sort through your HR. Your county attorney should go in their office and call, maybe that's not what they do, so maybe they could call somebody in labor law and say, this is our new handbook. I'd like to send it for you, and you ink through whatever. This is all in advance. Okay? This is vetting personnel. I've done it too many years. This is an embarrassment that HR is brought into this. Okay? Here's what Sosebee says. Maybe HR could have got a better handle on this. Folks, do you realize who your HR lawyer is? It's the County Attorney Lynn Doss. Oh, this is cheaper than having to hire a specialist in labor law. Folks, your county, Fannin County, just settled with your insurance a major settlement for wrongful termination, okay, lawsuit. Just settled one. Lynn Doss is incompetent in these matters. She's proven it over and over and over. She doesn't have the ability to do this. And this is just a touch of the iceberg of what this has cost. Why not call your labor law specialist before you sit down at this meeting? Let me wrap this up. Larry Joe Sosebee, your wife is Shirley Sosebee. I can't remember the last time on this show that I brought up Shirley Sosebee. I'm cordial to Miss Sosebee. She's cordial back. I say hello to her. She says hello to me. I don't remember the last time I've ever done a story on the tax commissioner's office. Okay? We have never, if you're a viewer out there or read Fetcher News for years, you can't remember the last time you have seen me or anyone in our organization do a story on the tax commissioner's office. Shirley Sosebee is the tax commissioner of Fannin County, Larry Joe's wife. She makes pretty good money. The citizens decided she should be the tax commissioner, and I have no problem with that. Larry Joe Sosebee is a post commissioner. Citizens said, voted for him, say he's post commissioner. He doesn't make a lot of money as post, okay? But Mr. Sosebee's family takes a considerable amount of money and benefits from Fannin County. A considerable amount of money and benefits go to the Sosebee family of Larry Joe Sosebee and Shirley Sosebee. That's number one. Number two, when you start talking about all the raises that Rita Kirby got throughout the years, Larry Joe, do your own investigation. Call surrounding counties. Call your Union County, call Gilmer, Pickens, Murray, Towns. Just start calling surrounding counties. Try to find comparable populations, comparable county budgets, okay? And just do a check of two things. Number one, CFO and the county clerk are two separate jobs. So I don't know why you had them as the same job to begin with. That's number one. You're in your second term, Mr. Sosebee. It's interesting now, you're in your second term. In the first term that you held there with Mr. Webb, Garnet Webb, I think it was his name, you and Mr. Webb, you had 2 votes, okay? Now, when Earl Johnson came in, you had 2 votes. So anyhow, county clerk, county financial officer, call around, see what they get paid before you start barking out what she gets a year. And also see why you had the 2 together. See what both of them pay. Blackmail. Comp time. Mr. Sosebee, you knew there was a spending limit. Mr. Sosebee, you may be in serious trouble with the taxpayers in Fannin County for approving Lynn Doss's check by yourself that day. There may be some legal things here involved. That's right. There may be the possibility of removal from office. That's right. There's possibilities out there. But don't you think I'm not going to keep working on them? Because what you did last night trying to cover your ass, So you're the one that got on the bend to fire her. I don't care, fire her. But I would have called that attorney for that labor issue before that meeting. Why they continue to let the incompetent county attorney for 27 years. He said, Earl said it. Now look up, I'm going to get in trouble. Look up the definition of incompetent, okay? She has already sent me an email with the word defamation in it. I have an email from the county attorney that has the word defamation in it, and she's looking every day for that. But I'm not afraid of them. I'm not. It's for the citizens of Fannin County, because they're the ones that keep costing you money, your tax money. It's not monopoly money, it's your tax money. And Earl Johnson said that's the way it's been for 30 years. Guess who's been there for 27? Save the county some embarrassment. Lynn Doss resigned today. Larry Joe Sosebee resigned today. I'm your host, BKP. It's 9:59. I got a little sidetracked there. Let's drain the swamp in your county. What do you got? Send it to me, 706-889-9700, FetcherNews.com. And also the Katie Sassine Show, the greatest, best, all the above news show in North Georgia. Better than mine, better than mine. If I'm you, I'd stick around. I mean, if you've watched this, I'd stick around. Katie Sassine, and then Short Takes with George. Take us out of here, Lonnie. Sorry I'm running late.